I have some exciting news. We have officially reached 20K. Can you tell I'm excited? Can you tell I'm excited? It's like these are. I am so excited. Oh my god, I am so honored. Like, what should I do to deserve this? A whole 20,000 people on my channel. That is so insane, guys. Thank you so much. Y'all know me right now. I'd be having a drink to celebrate, but I'm doing dry January-ish. But anyways, I am so grateful, so happy. This is unbelievable. Like, thank you guys for your support. Thank you for watching my videos, for commenting, for subscribing, for liking, for keeping the engagement up. That honestly helps my channel 1000%. So please continue, guys, and let's just grow this family more and more and more and more. My goal this year is 50K. Okay? 50,000. And with you guys' support, we can get there. So I'm gonna do my part and you guys do your part, and let's just grow this family. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. This space is so safe for me. I've continued to share without judgment. I've continued to have a comfortable place to just vent, have my life, and best decision I've ever made. I'm so grateful for you guys, and to another 20K. But yeah, I'm so grateful. Thank you guys. Mwah. Are we ready? Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Where do I begin? We sort of hit like a rough patch in our friendship. Your work as something valuable, I think, based off of the color of my skin. Hey, Jolo.
I wanna all night. Say it. I wanna all night. Hello, stranger. It's been a minute since we last kicked it. By the way, just got in town.
Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. My name is Sneh. I'm a full-time makeup artist and hairstylist living in Cape Town. So if this is your first time seeing my video, I am a content creator based in Cape Town, and this is a channel where I document my life, my ins and outs, my positives, my negatives. They're all on this channel. It's basically my digital diary where I'm able to really find a safe space to share and be able to also just find community, you know. Check out my other videos. You can find a whole lot of other stuff and a whole lot of other stuff I'm planning to do this year, God willing, inshallah. So before we get onto the plans of the year, yeah, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join the family. As you guys saw in the beginning of this video, we are officially on 20K. I'm smiling so hard. We are officially on 20K, and I am so happy and I'm so proud of myself, and I'm just I'm overwhelmed with feelings. But yeah, I'm so grateful. This is a chit chat video, so if you're not into like sit downs and long conversations, go and watch my other content. Go on and watch my other content, because this is basically about to be a long ass yap. I just basically want to catch people up on what's been happening. I think especially during the December time, a lot of people weren't really on social media that much and were really focusing on spending time with their families. So I think most of my transitional phase was through November and December. So there's a lot of things that I need to sort of catch everyone up on, and so we're on the same page as we go into the new year. Yeah, this past year has been really interesting for me. As much as I initially felt like nothing much has happened, when I look back at it, I'm like, wow, actually a lot of transitions that I went through this year. I think for a long time I've thought that I'm an adult, and the way that I've processed and dealt with things this year has actually proved to me that I am now actually becoming the adult that I thought I was before. And I'm now able to like regulate my feelings so much more and just be able to like think rationally and make decisions rationally. So I'm really proud of that, you know. I think I started off the year as a very nervous person. I wasn't really sure of myself, even though outwardly I looked like I had everything under control. Inside I was panicking because I didn't really know what the year had in store for me, and mainly my main focus at the time was just my relationship when the year started, and really trying to, I guess, progress in terms of my relationship. And I think that set the tone for how the year continued to go on. But what surprised me the most about the year is that even though things didn't go as I had planned or how I'd wanted them to, I'm still very proud of how the year went. I think it went exactly how it needed to go. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about other people. I learned what I can and can't take even more. There's always more things to learn. So I think, yeah, but one of the main things I was surprised by is that no matter how much I think I've clocked life and how much I think I've figured things out and whatever, like life always has a way of showing you that you will never actually fully clock life, you know? And there's always a surprise waiting around the corner. I think what changed most in my life this past year was my ability to put someone else's wants and needs before my own. I've grown up to be quite a selfish person, but in a good way, because I think like for a long time I used to be overly generous and overly giving because I wanted to keep people around. Like I wanted to have very close connections with people. So I used to overly give in places that I didn't receive. And I think that used to leave me feeling very resentful and hateful and just mean, you know? So I think this past year, therapy helped me to be giving in a way that is natural and to be there for somebody in a way that I didn't think that I would be able to ever be there for somebody else, you know, to love in that sense. So that was something that I was pleasantly surprised by. I think one of the things that I unlearned about myself is that I think I was a bit self-righteous. I felt like my way of dealing with things was rationalized because of the things that I've dealt with in the past. And I think one of the things that I've had to unlearn is that, what would the word be? Like, I have had to unlearn expecting people to be exactly how I expect them to be. So that's even in friendships, that's even in like strangers. I've had to unlearn my expectation of perfection from people just because I thrive for perfection and I'm always thriving to never do anything wrong. I shouldn't expect other people to do that because that's also very exhausting, and I know that it's exhausting, so I shouldn't expect other people to be that way. I don't know if I'm making sense, but that's one of the things that I've had to unlearn. I think something that stuck in my head from therapy for the longest time was that Jackie, my therapist, had said, allow humans to be human, and that will rationalize a lot of things around you. I think I was very hard on people. I expected people to be like textbook perfect, and I'm not textbook perfect, but I think my own traumas have tried to make me be. And I realized that that's not a healthy way to expect people to live, and it's also not a healthy way for me to live. So I've been more softer on myself, forgiving on myself, you know, when I'm unable to show up for people, or if I was unable to do something, or if I'm not as productive as I would like to be, you know, I've learned to forgive myself for those things. So I'm really proud of that. Another thing that I would say I'm proud of is, I've let go of a lot of hurt this past year. I have let some childhood trauma like literally control everything about me for the longest time, and I almost let it be like my story. It's like I carry myself so differently now that I've let go of the burden of feeling responsible for hiding that, or sort of like feeling like I had to look or seem perfect to other people. And I think in me being honest, I've also opened the conversation for people close to me to be honest to me about those things, you know. Like I remember before Prince passed away, and we're just having a conversation about like family and everything, and I think because I opened up and I was so honest about my situation, you could tell that it wasn't something he was wanting to talk about. You could tell that he was like sort of holding back. And when he got home and he had like called me and I was on my way to work, and he was just like, oh my gosh, I really appreciate the conversation that we had, and you know, it really like, you made me realize that I really need to start going to therapy. You know, like that also made me see, I've held so much inside in fear of like people shaming me, you know, for not having this like close-knit family situation. And I think I have tried to sort of force it or make it look a certain type of way. And it has drained me quite a bit. It has, and it made me feel even more shitty than just letting things be. So I think this year, what I'm really proud of is that I've let go of the burden that I was carrying of trying to make things look and seem a way that they weren't. I've also allowed myself to accept that this is the situation and move forward. I'm 31, I'm turning 32 this year. my excuse for being heartbroken, or my excuse for my heart being closed, or me being too strict, or whatever it is, my excuse can't always be that. I need to move on, I need to grow, I need to be a different person. I can't blame everything on that. Yeah, releasing that guilt of feeling like maybe I should try harder, even though I know how that makes me feel inside, and releasing the want to look like I have something that I don't. So I'm really proud of myself for that. Honestly, freed up so much inside me that I walk with such a clearer conscience, because I'm like, there's nothing that you can do about this situation except create your own life now and restart and do the necessary work so that you can create a life for yourself that isn't like that. And if I ever have a child, or I ever have a husband, I would like to create a really good foundation where I've accepted that this was my past, but this is not going to be the future of my family, and just to do things different, So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm proud of, that not a lot of people actually know, or I actually speak about it that much in real life, about how moving on in that aspect has helped so much. Yo, my work life this year, it was a bit stagnant, I won't lie. Like, I didn't accomplish much when it comes to my business. I carried a lot of guilt for that later on in the year. I think around my birthday and afterwards, I was very disappointed in myself and how I carried my business this year. I treated my business as an option and not my sole focus, because I think influencing distracted me. Having like this side hustle and the income of it picking up as the year went on, I was like, I'll circle back to that. I was definitely like, I'll circle back to that, and when I did some looking back at the year and everything, I was just like, whoa, dude, I am so disappointed in you. This business, I started it with nothing, and I was taking a gap year from varsity. I didn't really know if I would be able to go back to varsity. I had applied for NAFSAS, I couldn't get it. So really my future was either start a business, or I would have just started working like a admin job. I worked call centers. I even worked at a restaurant, like a fast food restaurant back then. So this business was like God's gift to me. Like, when I came up with the idea, my sister had always loved to do makeup back then, and she was always like, I want to start a makeup company. I pushed her to start, and she was like, I'm not ready. I pushed until she was like, oh, fine, let's just start it, and I needed her because I was very young at the time. I could have never thought about starting a business on my own. And she's always been sort of the lead for me when we were kids. So I really needed her to like co-sign the situation. And when we started it in Durban, I would say it was just okay to keep us above the water. But once I moved to Joburg and I branched off on my own, I think that's really when I realized, like, yo, you own a business, like you own a business. I started it from scratch. I rebranded. I started everything from the bottom, and I never dreamt I could be working on music videos and doing all this stuff. And like, even now, like, there's people that don't even know about my influencing. They just know me for makeup. And I love that. Like, I love that I am popular to some people purely off of my skill, like my work that I do with my hands. I've been so proud of it for the longest time, and I don't know why. Yeah, Baba fan. But let me not blame him, shame. Like, that's unfair. I think it's a me thing. Yeah, I'm a certified lover girl, and unfortunately, like, I was in too deep, and my main focus was just my relationship at the time. And yeah, it was just like, work is work, and like, I'll do as much work as I need to, but right now I really want to focus on laying the foundation on this relationship. That I think I woke up from this days, I would say later on in the year, like again around October, and I was like, what the hell are you doing? I was genuinely like, hey bo sissy, hey bo, you playing a dangerous game, girl. This thing shocked me. And that's when, honestly, and I was like, girl, I get on, never. Your brand has never been to just be someone's girlfriend. I am a force. You understand? I am snehhonline beauty. Okay, like, your brand cannot just be someone's girlfriend. So yeah, it changed a lot because my business was no longer like my main focus of my life, which is basically what it's been for like the bulk of my life. And I lost a lot of business because of that. but also it sort of also reminded me that, you know, if you don't put energy into this thing, you will lose it, you know. And so that really helped me like refigure my energy and re-look at it like, okay, this year I'm going in hard. This year, the plans I have for myself, because of, wow. The hardest decisions I've had to make though this year was probably leaving Woolworths. Yes, here's another update. I'm no longer at Woolworths. Basically, yeah, it really breaks my heart, this situation, because it highlights a very big underlying issue that we have in Cape Town. I've been with Woolworths for the past 2 years, under their studio department, and basically when I got there, I was charging a certain rate. Then they told me that, okay, we actually have a makeup artist here, she charges a certain amount of money. And so I was like, okay, cool, let me charge the same as her so that you guys could use us equally, you know. That wasn't the case. So I went down, I brought my rate down in order for them to be able to book us both fairly, which was not done. Yeah, the work environment as well was so toxic, and there's lots of things that I like didn't speak about and hid online because I was just grateful to be working with a big company like that. But the people there that I worked with, some of them were very unkind, especially I think the first year that I worked there. It was genuinely like just picking on me like a lot. And I sort of got to this point where I was like, let me just zone out and do my work. So I'd get there, put on headphones and just work. Also, that's how me and Nikki's friendship, oh, why am I saying friendship, relationship, took so long to form, because I just shut down when I got to that place. It was so weird to me that people were that hostile towards me, you know. It was not a nice situation, and I thought about quitting a lot of times, and I'd speak to Da about it, and she'd just be like, dude, this is good money and you need to continue to work there, you know, just thug it out, you know. And so I did. But as time went on, I think it broke my heart more than anything to realize that not only did they raise the rates of the other makeup artist, who was obviously Caucasian, they continued to keep my rates low, and they continued to give me lesser days, you know. So it also was based off of someone's mood, whether or not I appeased them or made them feel happy. That would determine how many work days I get. You could literally see it. Like, she decided everything, you know. And at the end of last year, I actually told them, like, I would like to be paid the same rate that you pay the other makeup artist. And they said no. And so I was faced now with the decision to either leave or to accept this rate that they gave me, which was a very discounted rate that I only agreed to on condition that I would be working a couple of days a week. But sometimes I would even work twice a month, you know. It got so bad to that point, or once a month, you know. So it just didn't make sense for me anymore. So yeah, I had to just make that difficult decision to be like, this is not what God wants for me. I know that I am dreaming bigger, I want bigger, I'm aiming for bigger. And if a company does not see your value or does not see your work as something valuable, I think, based off of the color of my skin, to be honest, I need to go elsewhere, you know. So yeah, it was very shocking because I've been there for like 2 years, but it also just like opened my eyes to always remember that no matter how good you are, no matter how much you can excel, there's places that just see color, and there's nothing I can do about that. So it did break my spirits for a while, but yeah, I know Unkulunkulu, like, he works in tremendous ways, like, and every single time that I haven't been able to provide for myself, or I feel like, fuck, where am I going to get money from, God will come up with the most craziest plan to make sure I can provide for myself at the very last minute, you know. So I know, Gusi, as much as right now I haven't like secured another contract, but I know if I apply myself and I really like see this through, that I will find something. Yeah, that's the main thing that changed in terms of my work this year. That was really sad. I'm looking to try submit my portfolio to other agencies as well as other like retail stores and try and secure something else there. I have a good portfolio, luckily, so I hope that it won't be too much trouble to try and get something. yeah, if I could talk to myself, or if I could have given myself some type of advice in the beginning of the year, I think I would have told myself to not settle. I think having let go of this particular company earlier on, I would have sat with it and have reprogrammed and restructured, you know, earlier on, instead of, I do feel a bit blindsided that I didn't plan ahead for my exit, but in that situation I was sort of left with no choice. So my biggest regret of this year was not fighting for myself. I don't think I fought as hard for myself this year in any aspect. What did I learn from it is the potential danger it has to my progress. So yeah, what's another regret that I could have for this year? That's about it. A regret I would have as well is not spending wisely. Every year I tell myself like I'm going to be more conscious with my spending, and I end up not doing that. So that's one thing that I do need to work on more, that I am disappointed in myself in. Another regret is that I wish I didn't move into my boyfriend's place to begin with. I think I should have moved out of my apartment and moved into another apartment, and I wouldn't have been stuck in this really bad space in the beginning of the year, because it was not a good way to start the year. I regret not working as hard on my weight loss. I already established in the beginning of the year that I gained quite a bit of weight, but I kept fluctuating. I guess because my life has just been such a mess this past year, Jay. I was not focused on weight loss, and I was fighting for my life. So yeah, I do regret that. I wish I had lost a bit more weight and stayed small. Hey, Jolo. Mark me absent, shame. This breakup was, I could say that I saw it coming, but I thought that at some point, like, I don't know, I thought a miracle would happen, to be honest, because I don't know what I was waiting to see. I guess what it taught me is don't second guess how I feel. I think because when you don't see anything physical, you feel like I need something concrete to look at. And that just means you'll forever just be building up more and more just resistance to the actual breakup happening, because you keep excusing it by, well, that's not enough to break up. That's not enough to break up. A feeling is enough to break up. I think that's one thing. That's my quote for like my adulthood now. A feeling is enough. It doesn't have to be cheating. But I will say that this relationship like helped me grow a lot emotionally. I was so stifled love-wise from just a heartbreak. I didn't think that I had the capability to love somebody as much as I loved this person. I was very like decided on just switching off my heart and my affections and my love. And this relationship taught me ukuthi I can still be in love, which is like so wild. Like I can still be a lover girl. Like Jane, you were fully in love, you know, like it really like helped me be vulnerable and helped me be just to show affection in a way that didn't make me feel cringy. I would say that a lesson that I learned in the relationship is that I don't want to lead anything. If you feel like you're starting off by leading, there's never a point where those roles will reverse and change back to any other way, you know, and you will continue to lead and you will continue to be big dog the entire time, and it is very exhausting, and it completely takes you out of your femininity, your feminine side, everything. I was struggling to just be a girl anymore around my partner. I never felt relaxed, I never felt happy, just carefree, and those are like the most important things that you need to feel when you're with your partner, you know. But I lost all those things because I was constantly having to be the planner, the executor, the keeping things together, the keeping things, you know, cute, keeping things packed up, which is like, yeah, I knew that that's a sign that this is not sustainable. But I guess it's tricky when somebody has good aspects and bad aspects, and you sort of are wanting to look at the good instead of being pessimistic. If I don't think I will, unfortunately, show any other person that I date. I'm very far from dating now. I think this year I want to focus on my business, like so bad. I want to focus on my business. I want to focus on content creation. So if and when I do eventually start dating again, I don't think that I will share that partner. Because I think that, it was just a huge burden to carry, to have people like message you and be like, oh, this and this, your partner's doing this and this, and da 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 da, you know. As much as I know that it was coming from a good place, and I know it was just like people that are genuinely like being girls and looking out for you, because people don't know that even though that was happening on the outside, we also had internal problems on our own. So it's like when I was trying to find bits of happiness in the relationship, these messages would come in at the absolute worst timing, you know, like in the moment where I was like, oh, I'm just feeling a little bit of happiness today, that I got into. I even told him one time that like, I almost feel like I can't be too happy with you anymore, because I know that there's just something looming around the corner, you know. Like I was now like a person who goes into their DMs and feels a bit anxious, like, oh, I hope nobody's saying anything, you know. Like, I've never been that person. That's so sad and so crazy to me. Like, I've never been that person. So yeah, as much as I know that it was coming from like a good place and people were like really trying to look out for me, I think exposing your partner blocks a certain level of privacy that you have. I always say, like, everything you do in the dark will come to the light. There's other ways that I have found out things outside of people just messaging me. If you're doing something that is dishonest, a shift happens in the relationship because one person is being dishonest. I don't know how to explain this, but you can feel it when your partner's doing something weird. It might not be cheating, he's hiding something. You just feel it. So I could tell when something was weird, and I could tell when the energy was just shifted, and I guess other ways of communication was just confirmation for me. But I wish I didn't do that, and I don't think I will. Obviously, when I have a partner, I'll share that I have a partner, and you guys might hear him talking in the background, or you'll see his hand or something. I don't know, but never again, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it again, Jay. Another thing that I think also contributed towards the relationship really ending was that we just had very different lifestyles. I don't know. I think I'm just in my grown era, like, and he would enjoy the things that I wanted to do. Like, he would find joy in them, but I knew that this is not really his lifestyle, because, well, I don't want to inflict his privacy. As much as we're broken up, like, I don't hate him, but we just had very different lifestyles. So I would be going off to work, and when I'm coming back from work trying to hang out with my partner, he's too hungover from going out with his friends, and Sunday he's still sleeping hungover. Monday he goes back to work, you know, like our lifestyles were just clashing. Or I would prioritize him over hangouts with my friends, or like sometimes even work, because I was like really trying to make this relationship work. So I really put it like in the forefront. But I think that I was on my own in that journey. So I think that was something that was very obvious from the beginning of the relationship. But yeah, so yeah, there was just a lot of like red flags and things that I saw that I'm like, this is not okay. But I think I just really wanted the relationship to work, and I was hurt for a lot of the time since I decided and I finally pulled the plug. I have tried a couple of times, but I think I hadn't really summoned the strength to be like finally like, you know. But once I found that strength, and honestly also just like relying more on my friends, I think I didn't really want to speak about the breakup with my friends, or not even about the breakup, about our problems to my friends, because I didn't want them to look at him in a different way. And once I really was able to like start being honest about the way that I feel and the things that have happened, having that community like confirm for me, hey bo, no, this is not okay, like actually made me see, yo, you know, yeah, this is not okay, you know. And why am I accepting this? I'm not that type of girl. Because I'm like, what the hell? What the heck? Yeah, I was doubting my decision for the longest time. But yeah, I think after some time, also, your heart really does mend. And I feel so much better. I'm more concrete and stern on my decision. I don't feel like I made the wrong decision. And that's really an empowering place to be in, you know? In terms of friendships and family, this year I have made more effort in terms of my friendships. Me and Nikki at some point, we sort of hit like a rough patch in our friendship, because I felt like Nikki prioritizes her other friendships more than ours. And that really hurt my feelings. And normally I would just cut off and shut down. But I was like, let me actually communicate how I feel. I know that she's not a malicious person. but I think that she's just overly committed in a lot of areas in her life. And so when we had that conversation and we were both able to say how we feel, it was like really also eye-opening for me. Because sometimes you'll literally end a friendship with somebody and you haven't even given it a chance to like speak it through, to understand where they're coming from, or, you know, sort of meet in a middle ground. So I was really happy that we had that conversation, because we've never really had a huge fallout outside of the situation with my ex-partner. She had like very strong feelings about what decision I should take when it came to that. And for me, I feel like, dude, like as a friend, like just be supportive. I hate a judgmental friend. I love Nikki to death. I do, and we've passed that hurdle. So I'm just talking in past tense, but don't be judgmental, because we're all human beings, and we all have like moments of like weakness and moments of like, you know, just being fickle, I guess, as people. So in that time of my relationship, I was just more sentimental about the relationship, and I needed time to get to where I'm at now. And I had explained that to her, sort of like, let me get you know, let my heart and then I will be able to move on. But I felt like she was pressuring me to make a decision before I was ready, and that sort of like pushed a gap between us, because she's made questionable choices, but I have never judged her for them. So yeah, that's something that we had to speak about, and we like resolved it, and we're good now. I think our relationship is even better now, and it's stronger, and we hang out more. We're just like really closer, so I'm really grateful for that. And yeah, I've just been trying to be more communicative when it comes to my friendships, and try and explain before I shut down what it is that's hurting my feelings. And if a person is ready to reciprocate, then that's great. But if you're not ready to receive, or not really wanting to have that type of conversation, I also have to respect that. And also you have to respect that I can't be around that type of situation. So I'm really happy that me and Kay are back being friends again. Like, I feel like we are like lost sisters. Like, I feel like we were supposed to be siblings, because we just like have the same type of problems. We have the same type of problems, we have the same banter. We always just like, it's just so normal and so natural to hang out with each other. I hate that we lost the 2 years that we lost, but I also feel like maybe it was necessary for us to be our own people in Cape Town before we actually came back and became friends again. You know, maybe we just needed that time apart to grow and to experience our lives in Cape Town outside of each other. Yeah, I'm really happy about that. In terms of my relationship with my family, I think right now I'm just being called to accept that we just need a bit of space. And so I've made peace with that, and I try to reason with it sometimes and be like, is it healthy? Will it be healthy in the long run? But I think when you keep trying to build good relations on your own, you're hurting yourself more than you're hurting the situation. So I think right now I'm just letting it breathe, and what happens happens, and how it goes forward is how it goes forward, you know. Oh, this new year I'm bringing in boss girl energy as like, oh, I want to work, I want to fight for my life. I want to fight for my life this year. Oh my goodness, may God just protect me and help me and reach this place that I need to reach. Yeah, that's the main focus for the year, to be honest, guys. I want to maintain my friendships, and to maintain my mental health, and to maintain a good financial standing, to make sure I pay my bills, to make sure I have good credit, to make sure I have a savings that's coming in, and to make sure my business is running at the fullest capacity it is able to run at. I'm so happy that like I've sort of stepped out of my shell. Like I was such like a conscious person. I would never like be able to speak to people, speak to strangers. And I was just telling Kay earlier on today when we were walking that like I'm actually so shocked at myself. Sometimes I'll catch myself like talking to a complete stranger and I'm like, is that you? Like, I'm so shocked. Like, I've really pushed myself this year to just be a better person for myself. I'm not at the point of networking, I'm not that confident, but it's like I'm able to just hold a conversation. It seems like such a small thing, but for somebody who has social anxiety, like, you would understand inside you really want to speak, you really want to talk to a person, you really want to engage in groups, but there's something that literally just holds you back. It's so crazy. Like, I hated, I dreaded being out in public. I dreaded being in social settings, like group settings. It was so painful for me. Like, I actually physically hated it. So I realized that like I'm hating it less and less, and I'm really trying to put myself out there, and also just for other people to be able to be comfortable bringing me around places and taking me, you know, with, or you know, instead of having to always explain like, oh, don't mind my friend, she's like this, you know, like, you know, I don't want people to have to explain away my behavior. I'm really like optimistic about this year. Content creation, I want to be like one campaign a month, you know, like give a consistent, get to YouTube, get to YouTube, get to stay online, you know, like I want to be the best version of myself this year, Jay, and reach all my goals and all my dreams and everything. So I hope I've covered as much as I can cover. This is the end of our chit chat session. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave me a little comment, leave me a little like, let me know what you think, and happy new year, guys. Like, let's start this new year, let's be productive, let's be positive people. I love you guys so much, and thank you for your continued support, and can we continue to grow, sibe rather than better than. Thank you guys for watching. Mwah.